Hey
Hi
guys,
guys,
I'm Nick.
I'm Joel, this is Rex, and together we're Bare Overland.
This is a story about how we quit our jobs to take the longest road trip imaginable all the way from Canada right down to Brazil.
And to do that we bought Rex, our off-grid 4x4 campervan beast.
In this episode, having left Steve, Sylvie and Sydney's place, we are making our way through Quebec all the way to Montreal.
Along the way we're going to have ourselves some really good off-grid experience, you could have guessed. See ourselves a wicked ice lake for my birthday, and also try and make our way to Tadoussac, which is supposed to be amazing for whales.
We headed north a long way to try and get to the Gaspé region because we'd heard there was an amazing lake called Lake Matapedia that we really wanted to check out.
Having just arrived in this place. Not sure if you can hear it now, but as soon as we open the car doors, and this is remote, so there's no farming areas near us, we can hear wolves howling in the distance. And they stop now, which probably means they've picked up our scent. Well, guess we'll be keeping our knives on us then. So we've just woken up and it's another beautiful day, which is great. Now we were pantsing it a little bit last night, so we were a bit on edge and didn't take the camera with us, but we did go for a walk down to the lake, even though it was getting a bit dark, and it is beautiful. So we're just getting ready and we're going to go down there now and show you guys what we saw. And also we're thinking that this might be a nice place to stay tonight as well and through until tomorrow, because it's so quiet, and because of the snow up the road there to get here, I'm not sure many vehicles will be coming. So as you can see, it's empty, which is perfect. What a great spot for my birthday. I don't want presents, I don't want gifts, even though they are the same thing. I just want this. I mean, look at it. This is what life's about.
We're walking on a lake.
Don't go anywhere near me.
It's so beautiful here, so beautiful.
Maybe come back. Don't run!
It actually felt really good.
What happened, Nick?
I just fell through the ice. But it's actually really warm. We should totally go in there. Maybe not in the ice bit, in the water bit. What do you think?
I think that's a terrible idea. I mean, after you.
Either way.
So we did actually decide to leave that place because a few people were turning up again, and that sort of sucked for us. Also, there was some really dodgy hillbillies, so we thought we'd just leave. So what we're going to do is we're going to head towards the coast. It's a little bit late now. We should get there just for nightfall. So we woke up this morning in Matane, Quebec, and we have three choices: whether we go northeast to Gaspé, go southwest to Quebec City, seeing some sights along the way, or go over the St. Lawrence River to try and get to spot some whales on the other side of Quebec. We chose to try and do that, and where that's taken us is the Matane ferry was broken, So we got a tip off about heading to Rominski, where they've got some ferries there. We turn up in Rominski, and unfortunately that ferry doesn't fit Rex in, he's too big. So then we got told to go even further southwest to Tres Pistols or something like that. Now we haven't made it there.
But what we have made is a beautiful little place right on the water. There, we're surrounded by mountains. We've managed to pick up a couple of beers along the way, and we're going to bike and watch the sunset. So it's actually not all bad at all.
Whoa. Helped you on that last bit.
This is so beautiful, and tomorrow we'll go across this river, the St. Lawrence, and end up right over there. Cheers guys, that was my first ever scramble, and I'm not gonna lie, I was absolutely pantsing it, but I did it, and I'm really happy I did, and it was actually fun, and now I've got a well-deserved beer. So, cheers.
Cheers. Sometimes when you're overlanding, days just don't go the way you want them to. And the trouble is with Quebec is they don't keep their websites up to date, and everything's in French anyway. And of the people you do speak to, not many of them speak English, which, you know, it's fine, they don't have to speak English. But what that does mean is you haven't got any way of finding out if something's open until you get there. But what is nice about overlanding is when you find the unexpected. We're on our way to the last town to try and get that ferry crossing. Otherwise we might as well just walk across, and we found this really beautiful place, and that is a nice surprise. And just when you think like days aren't going to plan or anything like that, you end up somewhere really beautiful. It's great, isn't it?
It is great.
After that beautiful place in Lebec, we were properly recharged, and we were gunning to cross the St. Lawrence, so we headed towards Trois Pistols. But as it turns out, as we arrived, we just missed the ferry for Trois Pistols as well. Quickly got ourselves some water, robbing it from the Tourist Information Centre, and then bombed it down the road to Rochemalin. 2 days and 5 ferry crossings later, we finally found one that's open, which is great. So we're just going to chill here, have some food, until our ferry departs in a couple of hours. So we're finally gonna get all the way across there, and it looks beautiful.
What you cooking, babe?
Got ourselves some omelettes, a little bit of mushrooms and onions, which is great. Oh, and some toast.
We are on the north side of the St. Lawrence River, finally, after days and days and days, and it is so worth it. We were tipped off at the ferry terminal that there's this beautiful place north of the river that we needed to check out, so we're here. It was a little bit of a hairy journey, but we got here, and honestly it was so worth it. I would say far more beautiful than anything we've seen. The hiking's good, it's a little bay, we can watch the whales. We're just really happy to be here, and I'm so glad we did that trip to get here. It's perfect. There is a random car that's parked, but we're really hoping that the people come back from the hike, take their car, and then we have that uninterrupted view for the next couple of days.
So we had to move in a bit of a hurry last night, because it turns out that this spot we found it is probably a local's dogging spot.
Either that or there's just a lot of singular guys that really like whale watching with no whales in the dark. So
we didn't want to hang around to find out.
No. So we sped off. We were going to join the other RVs up the hill, and in doing that we ran over our power shower. Check this out. Oh. So I mean, we can still use it.
I could get a foot in there.
Yeah, we're still going to use it. We certainly ain't going to take a bath in the water tonight here. We're going to find somewhere else.
Oh, come on.
No, we're not doing.
We were going to stay here the entire day, do some trekking and try and spot whales, but the rain hasn't let up, and we've just heard of some other hikers that the snow at the top of those kind of peaks on the trails is really deep. It's like deeper than me, and we don't have snowshoes, so we're going to shoot. Also, the tide's gone out, and as you can see, I'm not really sure any whales could have actually fitted in here. It's about as deep as a paddling pool. I think the people in the town that told us about this have been having a right chuckle. Anyway, we're going to move on, see what's around the next corner. So we didn't stay in Tadoussac last night because the town was covered in a cloud, so we wouldn't have been able to see whales anyway. And also, they don't really like overlanders, or at least overlanders doing it on a budget. So street parking and all of that was out, and we didn't want to fork out for a campsite, not that any would probably be open anyway. So we went down the road to a place, a little small village, we think it's called Fjord, and it's beauts. We're actually halfway along the ford now that meets with the St. Lawrence at Tadoussac down the road. Last night it was grim, but today it's quite beautiful. Relatively speaking, obviously. So we're going to head off in a few minutes, continue down the fjord on the right hand side, just seeing if we can spot some whales en route and find a nice little out the way spot that isn't a dogging site and isn't a marina car park as well. That'll be great. Also, there seems to be some epic sights. I'm not sure if you can see it on the camera, but you've got waterfalls just cascading down the right hand side of that fjord there. Looks beautiful. Wish we had a boat. There's a fall.
So we're still in Quebec and we're in a national park by the fjord.
I'm thinking we probably shouldn't have taken our bikes though. Doesn't seem very sound. I'm not even sure you can hear it. It's supposed to be belugas way out there. It's supposed to be one of the best spots. All I can see is waves. Now we drove all the way down that fjord, all the way to the end, and we still didn't see any whales. Now it's gutting because if we were there 1 month later it would have been prime whale season. It's just when we were there was clouds everywhere, heavy rain, and on the days when there wasn't heavy rain the whales just weren't hanging out anyway, which I personally thought was a little bit selfish of those whales. Anyway, we'll catch those whales in BC and hopefully get some video for you then. Spent last night in Civilisation in a car park just outside a shopping mall.
Woken up and it's the busiest car park that you ever saw. It's quite funny. I'm going to attempt to go and kind of wash my hair in the toilets and wear a turban through the masses of people.
And I look like an absolute state, and everyone's wearing their designer clothing. We worked out yesterday that I haven't had a shower in 2 weeks. Nick's been a week. This is getting embarrassing.
Okay, here goes the amazing aqua hair turban, which saves my life on a regular basis. Can to you. Non-sulfate. Let's give this a look. It's going to look so funny if you walks it. Well, I don't think that went so well. I just got the strangest look from a lady that walked in, which is fair enough. It's a little bit random, but yeah. so I couldn't quite complete it fully, but I'm going to do the rest at the van. So we've just hit the roads, and where are we heading to?
We're generally heading towards Quebec City on Route 175, which apparently leads us through a national park, which could be good.
Yeah.
Don't really know anything about it.
We just get a shower and stuff.
Yes. Yeah. So maybe on the route or after that we can find some off-grid. Which would be fun.
That'd be really nice. It's been a while, hasn't it? It's a few days. Car parks. Yeah, which aren't bad. So we've got Wi-Fi and stuff, but it's the morning, isn't it? When you wake up, there's people milling around.
Yeah, there's people looking all fresh, you know, in their nice Pierre Cardin jeans or whatever people wear these days. And there's me, like, in my screwed up jeans with, like, moose shit on.
We just pulled off the motorway to find some off-grid, and look what we've stumbled across. We managed to find the most wicked little off-grid area off the highway, which was really mountainous, and it had frozen ice lake, and the view was just really beautiful. There's an old logging trail, so quite similar to the last episode, the Minto area, and it was just really nice to hang out there for a couple of days.
It's nice here, but you can still hear the faint sounds of the motorway. So we're going to continue driving on this dirt track and see where it leads.
Those dust roads were fantastic. They were wet, they were flat, everything Minto wasn't, so we could really get the speed up and really get some drift going around the corners. We just followed them for ages, weaving our way through the countryside until eventually we hit the end. Now those roads probably went on a lot further, but that snowdrift wasn't going to let us pass. So we ended up staying back where we originally just showed you a second ago. The place was brilliant. I mean, you can't fault it.
Yeah. And that brings us to the end of our third episode of Bare Overland. As ever, guys, thank you for watching. If you liked it, you know what to do. And your feedback has actually been amazing. It's really helped us. So any more feedback, just hit us with it. It's really helpful to us.
We are trying to incorporate the maps, but it's just really hard trying to find freeware maps. And I did try to design some, but it's just, it takes a lot of time. And we do want to make videos for you guys. We're actually finding it quite fun, but sometimes I just want to go out hiking. I'm really sorry. In our next episode for you guys, our luck changes. We end up having a showdown with a bear, or at least Nix does, and I nearly run over a mountain lion. We start our mammoth drive across the country from the east coast of Canada through to the west, and that includes the very long, very vast, very high-skied prairies. The reason why we're doing that is because poor Rex ends up getting a bit poorly. It's a bit touch and go.
Yeah.
Find out what happens next episode. See you guys.
Take care, guys. Bye.
In our next episode for you guys, our luck changes. We end up having a showdown with a bear, or at least Nix does.
Came out all right though, didn't we? We're still alive.